Let me tell you something, negative thoughts are like uninvited guests. They show up at your door, barging in, trying to steal your joy, your focus, your peace. And if you let them sit in your house, they'll rearrange the furniture of your mind, convincing you that fear, doubt, and failure are the only tenants allowed. But here's the truth: you hold the keys to your mental space. No one else. And you have the power to fight those thoughts and win. Now listen closely, because winning isn't about pretending those thoughts don't exist. No, it's about looking them in the eye and saying, I see you, but you don't define me. Acknowledge them, but don't entertain them. Don't give them a seat at your table. They are guests, not residents. You see, life will always test you. Always. But every challenge, every stumble, every so-called failure is not a signal to stop. It's an opportunity to grow. You can choose to sit in the shadows of negativity, or you can reframe the darkness as a chance to shine brighter. Shift your focus. When you feel like you're at your lowest, remember, even seeds grow in the dirt. But they grow because they push through. And when those thoughts whisper, you're not good enough, you'll never make it, you stand tall and say, I am good enough. Say it with me. I am good enough. Speak it like you mean it. Words have power. Your thoughts have power. What you say to yourself every day matters. Start speaking life into your dreams. Start declaring victory over your struggles. Don't just talk, though, act. Take one step, just one. That's all it takes to start the journey out of negativity. Action silences the voice of doubt because it proves that you are in control. Whether it's a phone call you've been avoiding, a goal you've been postponing, or even getting out of bed when your spirit feels heavy, take that step. And when you do, celebrate it. Small victories are the building blocks of monumental success. And let me tell you this, the people around you matter. If your circle isn't lifting you up, it's holding you back. Surround yourself with folks who speak life into you, who push you to be better, who remind you of your greatness when you forget. Because sometimes we need others to help us see the light we carry. Gratitude is your secret weapon. Even in your darkest moments, there's something to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. It takes the focus off what's wrong and shifts it to what's right. And that shift is where the magic happens. But above all, keep going, keep believing, keep fighting. Because negativity is a battle, but it's one you can win. Discipline, persistence, and faith, that's the formula. Not every day will be easy, but every day is a chance to get stronger. And remember, the storms may come, but they don't last forever. The sun always rises, always. So the next time negativity knocks at your door, don't just stand there. Answer it with faith, with action, with gratitude. Answer it like the warrior you are. Because you are strong, you are capable, and you were made to win. Now go out there and claim your victory. Negative thoughts are like shadows. They creep in uninvited, lingering in your mind, convincing you they belong there. They tell you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. They magnify your mistakes and minimize your successes. But here's the thing, just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it deserves your attention or your energy. Acknowledging negative thoughts doesn't mean agreeing with them or accepting them as fact. It means recognizing their presence without letting them take control. Acknowledgement is the first and most important step, because you can't fight what you refuse to see. When those thoughts first emerge, they often catch us off guard. They might show up as self-doubt, anxiety, or even a quiet whisper in the back of your mind. They might say, you're going to fail, or you're not worthy of success. It's tempting to push them aside, ignore them, or distract yourself with other things, hoping they'll disappear. But here's the truth: ignoring negative thoughts doesn't make them go away. It gives them space to grow. When left unchecked, they can spiral into something much bigger, affecting your mood, your actions, and even your relationships. Acknowledging these thoughts means shining a light on them. It means pausing for a moment and saying to yourself, I see what's happening here. It's about being honest with yourself and understanding that these thoughts are a natural part of being human. Everyone has moments of doubt and fear. They don't make you weak, they make you normal. The key is to not let those moments define you. When you acknowledge a negative thought, you're taking the power away from it. You're moving it from an unconscious reaction to a conscious recognition. You're saying, I hear you, but I don't have to believe you. That's a powerful shift. It changes the dynamic because now you're in control. You've taken the thought from something that feels overwhelming and intangible to something you can see, hold, and address. Think of it like this: when you're in a dark room, everything feels uncertain. You might bump into furniture, stub your toe, or feel lost. But the moment you turn on a light, everything changes. You see the obstacles in front of you, and suddenly they're not as scary. Acknowledging negative thoughts is like turning on that light. It doesn't mean the obstacles vanish, but it means you can see them for what they are: temporary, manageable, and not nearly as big as they seemed in the dark. It's important to remember that acknowledging a thought doesn't mean you're agreeing with it. You're not saying, this is true, you're saying, this is here, and I'm aware of it. It's a subtle but critical difference. When you do this, you give yourself the opportunity to question the thought. Where did it come from? Is it based on fact or fear? Is it something you've been carrying from a past experience that no longer serves you? These questions help you separate yourself from the negativity. They help you see that the thought is just that, a thought, not a reality. By acknowledging negative thoughts, you also create space for self-compassion. It's easy to get frustrated with yourself when you feel weighed down by negativity. You might think, why am I feeling this way? Or I should be stronger than this, but those reactions only add another layer of negativity. Instead, give yourself grace. Remind yourself that it's okay to have bad days, to feel uncertain, to struggle. What matters is what you do next. The act of acknowledgement is empowering because it shifts the narrative. It reminds you that you're not a victim of your thoughts, you're the observer. And as the observer, you have the ability to choose what you focus on, what you believe, and what you let go of. Negative thoughts might show up, but they don't get to stay unless you invite them in. Recognize them, challenge them, and then move forward, knowing they don't define who you are or what you're capable of achieving. Negative thoughts often feel like a heavy weight pulling us down, but their power lies largely in the way we perceive and respond to them. They are not undefeatable, rather, they are a product of our mindset and perspective. Reframing your perspective is one of the most effective tools to combat these thoughts, turning them from roadblocks into stepping stones. It's not about denying reality, but about changing the way you interpret the events, situations, and challenges that come your way. Life is filled with moments of uncertainty, difficulty, and failure. It's easy to let these moments define us, to see them as signs of inadequacy or failure. A missed opportunity might feel like a closed door forever. A mistake might seem like proof that you'll never succeed, or a single rejection might feel like a judgment on your worth. These are the narratives negative thoughts love to create, and they thrive on our tendency to see things in absolute terms, good or bad, success or failure. But the truth is, most situations are not black and white. They are opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation, and this shift in perception is the heart of reframing your perspective. Reframing begins with recognizing that your thoughts are not facts. Just because your mind tells you something doesn't make it true. For example, if you fail at a task and your immediate thought is, I'm a failure, that's not a fact, that's a judgment. It's an interpretation of an event, and interpretations can be changed. Instead of seeing failure as a definitive statement about your abilities, try seeing it as a lesson, a moment of growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? By shifting your perspective in this way, you take control of the narrative. One powerful aspect of reframing is recognizing the role of challenges and difficulties in personal development. Think of the greatest stories of triumph you've ever heard, stories of individuals overcoming adversity, pushing through setbacks, and achieving greatness. Those stories resonate because they remind us that struggle is not the end of the road, it's part of the journey. Challenges test us, shape us, and ultimately make us stronger. Instead of viewing difficulties as insurmountable problems, try to see them as opportunities to build resilience, develop new skills, and grow into the person you're meant to be. Another way to reframe your perspective is to practice gratitude in the face of negativity. Gratitude is not just about being thankful for the obvious blessings in your life, it's also about finding the silver lining in the challenges. For instance, if you're facing a tough situation at work, instead of focusing solely on the stress and frustration, you can reframe it by recognizing the opportunity it provides to develop patience, creativity, or problem-solving skills. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, helping you see that even in difficult moments, there is something valuable to be gained. It's also essential to recognize the impermanence of negative thoughts and emotions. When we're caught in a storm of negativity, it can feel like it will last forever. But emotions are like waves, they rise, peak, and eventually recede. By reminding yourself of this truth, you can reframe difficult moments as temporary challenges rather than permanent states. This shift in perspective can provide the clarity and hope needed to keep moving forward. Reframing doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about taking control of how you interpret your experiences and choosing to see them in a way that empowers you rather than holds you back. It's about recognizing that you are not a passive recipient of life's challenges, you are an active participant with the ability to shape your response. With this mindset, even the most daunting obstacles can become opportunities for growth, and negative thoughts lose their grip on your life. Negative thoughts often stem from deeply rooted fears and insecurities. They tell you that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that you don't deserve happiness. These thoughts can be loud and persistent, feeding on your past mistakes or fears of the future. Over time, they begin to feel like truths. However, they are not truths, they are stories you've told yourself or allowed others to plant in your mind. The first step in combating these narratives is to challenge them actively and replace them with affirmations that build self-belief. Positive affirmations are simple, powerful statements that affirm your value, capabilities, and potential. When repeated consistently, they help rewire your thought patterns. The brain, incredible as it is, often believes what it hears most often. If you continually tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your brain will begin to see that as reality. But if you replace that thought with, "I am capable, strong, and deserving," over time, your brain will start to believe that instead. Affirmations are not magic, they don't work overnight. They require repetition, faith, and a willingness to push back against the negativity that arises. When creating affirmations, it's essential to make them personal and specific. For example, instead of a general statement like "I am successful," try something more tailored, such as "I have the skills and determination to achieve my goals." Specific affirmations resonate more deeply because they directly address the areas where you feel doubt or fear. Write these affirmations down, say them aloud, and repeat them in your mind, especially during moments when negative thoughts creep in. By doing so, you're not just speaking words, you're planting seeds of belief that will grow with time and care. Another critical aspect of self-belief is recognizing your achievements and strengths. Negative thoughts often focus on what you lack or what you failed at, overshadowing the successes and talents that define you. Take a moment to reflect on your past victories, no matter how small they may seem. Did you overcome a difficult situation? Did you achieve a goal you once thought was out of reach? These moments are evidence of your resilience and capability. Remind yourself of them often, especially when self-doubt tries to take hold. Self-belief also requires letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a breeding ground for negative thoughts because it sets unattainable standards. When you believe that anything less than perfect is failure, you open the door to constant self-criticism. But the truth is, perfection isn't the goal, progress is. Celebrate your efforts, even if they don't lead to immediate success. Recognize that growth is a journey, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth acknowledging. It's also important to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with and the environment you live in play a significant role in shaping your self-belief. Seek out those who uplift you, who see your potential even when you don't, and who remind you of your worth. Positive reinforcement from others can amplify your internal affirmations, creating a supportive foundation for your growth. Building self-belief and practicing affirmations doesn't mean you'll never have negative thoughts again. They will still arise from time to time. That's part of being human. But when they do, you'll be equipped with the tools to combat them. You'll know how to replace them with affirming truths about your capabilities and value. Over time, this practice will not only silence the voice of doubt, but also strengthen your confidence, empowering you to pursue your goals with clarity and courage. Taking action is one of the most effective ways to overcome negative thoughts. When your mind is filled with doubt, fear, or uncertainty, it's easy to become stuck in a loop of overthinking. Negative thoughts thrive in inactivity because they have space to grow, repeat, and intensify. The key to breaking this cycle is movement. Taking even the smallest step forward can shift your focus from what's holding you back to what's propelling you forward. Action disrupts negativity, replacing it with momentum and a sense of purpose. Negative thoughts often paralyze us by creating an illusion of insurmountable challenges. They make tasks seem bigger and more daunting than they are, convincing us that taking any step will lead to failure. But here's the truth: the size of the step doesn't matter as much as the act of stepping. When you take action, no matter how small, you signal to your brain that you are in control. You remind yourself that you are capable of doing something about your situation. This shift in focus can be transformative, turning a mindset of helplessness into one of empowerment. One of the simplest ways to start taking action is by breaking your goals or tasks into smaller, manageable steps. When your mind is overwhelmed with negativity, even the idea of tackling a large goal can feel impossible. For example, if you're trying to write a report but feel overwhelmed by the scope of the project, focus on just writing the first sentence. If that still feels too daunting, start by jotting down ideas or organizing your notes. These small actions might seem insignificant, but they build momentum. With each completed step, you gain a sense of accomplishment, which chips away at the negativity and replaces it with confidence. Another critical aspect of taking action is embracing imperfection. Negative thoughts often feed on the fear of failure, convincing you that if you can't do something perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. But perfectionism is a trap. It prevents you from starting, let alone finishing. Action isn't about getting everything right, it's about making progress. When you take imperfect action, you're telling yourself that effort matters more than flawless execution. Over time, this mindset not only silences negative thoughts, but also allows you to grow and learn through the process. It's also important to remember that action doesn't always have to be grand or dramatic. Sometimes the smallest steps have the most significant impact. Getting out of bed on a difficult day, making a phone call you've been avoiding, or even taking a deep breath to calm your mind, all of these are actions that move you forward. What matters is that you're doing something to break the cycle of negativity. Small actions compound over time, creating a ripple effect that leads to larger changes. Taking action also helps you shift your focus from internal negativity to external solutions. When you're actively engaged in doing something, whether it's working on a project, exercising, or helping someone else, you're less likely to dwell on negative thoughts. Your mind becomes occupied with the task at hand, giving it less space to entertain doubt or fear. This sense of purpose can be incredibly grounding, reminding you that you have control over your actions, even if you can't control every thought or emotion. Moreover, taking action builds evidence that counters your negative thoughts. If your mind tells you you can't do this, but you take a step and prove otherwise, you begin to challenge that belief. Over time, these small victories accumulate, creating a new narrative, one that says, I can. Instead of I can, each action you take, no matter how small, becomes a testament to your ability to overcome obstacles and move toward your goals. It's also worth noting that not every action will lead to immediate success, and that's okay. The goal of taking action isn't always about achieving a specific outcome. It's about building resilience and breaking free from inertia. Every step you take, even if it doesn't go as planned, is a step away from negativity and toward growth. You learn, adapt, and grow stronger with each attempt, and that process is just as valuable as the results. Ultimately, action is a powerful antidote to negativity because it shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's possible. It reminds you that you are not defined by your fears or doubts, but by your willingness to move forward despite them. And as you continue to take steps, however small, you build a foundation of confidence and momentum that makes it easier to face future challenges. Negative thoughts may arise, but when you're in motion, they lose their grip, allowing you to focus on the progress you're making and the possibilities ahead. The environment you immerse yourself in plays a profound role in shaping your mindset and, by extension, your ability to overcome negative thoughts. Surrounding yourself with positivity isn't just a comforting idea, it's a powerful strategy to foster growth, resilience, and optimism. The people, places, and influences in your life act as a mirror, reflecting back the energy you're exposed to. If that energy is uplifting, encouraging, and supportive, it helps counteract negativity and cultivates a healthier mental space. One of the most significant factors in your environment is the people you allow into your inner circle. Friends, family, colleagues, and mentors all contribute to the energy you absorb daily. If you're constantly surrounded by people who focus on criticism, doubt, or pessimism, their negativity can seep into your own thoughts. They might not even mean harm, but their words, attitudes, and actions can reinforce self-doubt or diminish your confidence. On the other hand, spending time with individuals who inspire you, believe in you, and encourage your growth can be transformative. These are the people who lift you when you stumble, remind you of your strengths, and challenge you to see the potential in yourself when you've forgotten it. Positive relationships are not just about avoiding negativity, but also about creating an environment where you feel safe to be vulnerable and supported. When you're battling negative thoughts, the ability to express those feelings without judgment is invaluable. Sharing your struggles with someone who listens empathetically and offers constructive advice can lighten the mental load. They might not have all the answers, but their presence alone can make you feel less isolated. It's in these connections that you find reassurance and the strength to push through challenges. In addition to the people around you, the physical and virtual environments you inhabit can significantly impact your mindset. A cluttered, chaotic space can contribute to feelings of stress and overwhelm, which feed negative thoughts. On the other hand, an organized and uplifting environment can create a sense of calm and focus. Simple changes like adding plants, artwork, or natural light to your space can have a surprising effect on your mood and mental clarity. Similarly, your digital environment matters. Social media, news outlets, and online communities can either drain your energy or fill it with inspiration. Be intentional about curating your feeds to include content that motivates, educates, and uplifts you rather than amplifying negativity or fear. Books, podcasts, and other media also play a crucial role in shaping your internal narrative. The stories you consume can influence how you perceive yourself in the world. Reading about people who have overcome adversity or listening to speakers who share strategies for resilience can inspire you to adopt a more positive outlook. These resources act as a counterbalance to the negative thoughts that might arise, reminding you that challenges are universal and that overcoming them is possible. Beyond the external environment, your habits and routines can help reinforce positivity. Surrounding yourself with positive influences isn't just about passively absorbing good energy, it's also about actively engaging in practices that align with a positive mindset. Gratitude journaling, meditation, or even a daily walk can serve as anchors that ground you in the present moment and shift your focus away from negativity. These routines create a ripple effect, making it easier to sustain a positive outlook even when faced with challenges. It's also important to recognize when certain influences no longer serve your growth. Letting go of toxic relationships, draining activities, or environments that consistently bring you down is not selfish, it's necessary. Protecting your mental space is an act of self-care, and by removing sources of negativity, you create room for more uplifting influences. This process might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if it involves distancing yourself from people or situations you've been accustomed to. But in doing so, you prioritize your well-being and set the stage for personal growth. Lastly, surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean avoiding challenges or ignoring reality. It's about creating a supportive foundation that enables you to face difficulties with strength and optimism. Life will always have its ups and downs, but when your environment reinforces the belief that you are capable, resilient, and deserving of success, it becomes much easier to silence the voice of negativity. The energy you choose to keep around you becomes a powerful force shaping your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your life. The way you speak to yourself shapes your reality more than you might realize. Negative thoughts often originate from an inner dialogue that is critical, judgmental, or dismissive. This voice can be harsh, pointing out your flaws, mistakes, or perceived inadequacies. It may even mimic the negative comments or beliefs you've absorbed from others over the years. But what if you could transform that voice into one that uplifts, supports, and encourages you? Practicing self-compassion is the key to changing your inner dialogue, allowing you to approach yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a loved one. Self-compassion is not about letting yourself off the hook or avoiding responsibility. Instead, it's about acknowledging your humanity and treating yourself with empathy, especially during difficult times. When negative thoughts arise, they often bring feelings of shame, guilt, or frustration. You might think, why can't I get it right? Or what's wrong with me? These thoughts can spiral, creating a cycle of self-criticism that leaves you feeling stuck and powerless. Practicing self-compassion interrupts this cycle by encouraging you to respond to yourself with care rather than condemnation. Imagine a close friend confides in you about a mistake they made or a challenge they're facing. Would you criticize them harshly or belittle their efforts? Likely not. Instead, you'd offer reassurance, perspective, and perhaps even a reminder of their strengths. Practicing self-compassion means extending that same kindness to yourself. It involves recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, everyone struggles, and everyone has moments of doubt. These experiences don't make you unworthy or incapable, they make you human. When negative thoughts surface, one of the first steps in practicing self-compassion is simply to notice them without judgment. Instead of reacting to these thoughts or trying to suppress them, acknowledge their presence as you would acknowledge a passing cloud in the sky. Say to yourself, I see this thought, but it doesn't define me. This act of mindfulness creates space between you and the thought, allowing you to respond from a place of understanding rather than reactivity. Once you've recognized a negative thought, the next step is to challenge it with compassion. For example, if you find yourself thinking, I'm a failure, take a moment to reflect on the evidence for and against that thought. Remind yourself of your achievements, the effort you've put into your endeavors, and the progress you've made. Replace the self-critical narrative with a kinder one, such as, I made a mistake, but that doesn't define who I am. I'm learning and growing every day. This shift in perspective helps you build resilience, turning setbacks into opportunities for growth rather than sources of shame. Practicing self-compassion also involves giving yourself permission to feel and process emotions without judgment. Negative thoughts often arise during moments of stress, disappointment, or fear. Instead of suppressing or invalidating these feelings, acknowledge them as valid responses to your experiences. Tell yourself it's okay to feel this way. I'm going through something challenging, and it's normal to have these emotions. This simple act of validation can reduce the intensity of negative thoughts and help you approach them with greater clarity. Another important aspect of self-compassion is self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being sends a powerful message to yourself that you are deserving of kindness and care. Whether it's getting enough sleep, eating nourishing meals, spending time with supportive people, or engaging in activities that bring you joy, these actions reinforce a positive inner dialogue. They remind you that you are worth investing in and that your needs matter. It's important to remember that self-compassion is a practice, not a one-time solution. There will be days when it feels easier and days when it feels almost impossible. On the difficult days, remind yourself that progress is not linear and that every small effort counts. Over time, as you consistently choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you'll notice a shift in the way you relate to yourself. Negative thoughts will still arise, but they'll carry less weight because your inner dialogue has become a source of strength rather than judgment. By treating yourself with compassion, you create an internal environment where growth, healing, and positivity can thrive. You begin to see yourself not as someone defined by flaws or mistakes, but as someone capable of learning, evolving, and overcoming challenges. Self-compassion doesn't erase difficulties, but it equips you with the emotional tools to face them with courage and grace. It transforms your relationship with yourself, empowering you to silence negativity and embrace the fullness of who you are. Focusing on gratitude is one of the most transformative practices for combating negative thoughts. Gratitude shifts your perspective from what's lacking to what's present, from problems to possibilities, and from despair to hope. Negative thoughts thrive on scarcity and dissatisfaction, constantly drawing attention to what you don't have, what you've done wrong, or what might go wrong. Gratitude disrupts this cycle by anchoring you in the abundance of the moment, reminding you of the good that already exists in your life. At its core, gratitude is about acknowledgement. It's about taking a moment to recognize the blessings, large and small, that often go unnoticed in the hustle of daily life. When you focus on gratitude, you redirect your mental energy away from dwelling on fears or shortcomings. This redirection doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It means choosing to see the light, even in moments of darkness. Gratitude is not just a fleeting emotion, but a deliberate mindset cultivated through consistent practice. When negative thoughts arise, they often pull your attention toward what you cannot control. Gratitude, however, helps you reclaim your focus by grounding you in what you can appreciate. For example, even during a particularly challenging day, there might be a moment of kindness from a stranger, a delicious meal, or a comforting conversation with a friend. These moments might seem insignificant compared to the weight of your worries, but when acknowledged, they can provide a sense of balance and perspective. Practicing gratitude starts with awareness. Take a few moments each day to reflect on what you are thankful for. This doesn't have to be an elaborate exercise. It can be as simple as mentally listing 3 things you appreciate. These could range from basic necessities, like a roof over your head and clean water, to more personal blessings, like the support of a loved one or the satisfaction of completing a task. Writing these reflections down in a journal can deepen the practice, allowing you to revisit them on days when negative thoughts feel overwhelming. Gratitude also encourages you to shift your narrative about challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing difficulties solely as sources of pain, gratitude helps you find value in the lessons they bring. For instance, a failure might teach resilience, a conflict might strengthen communication, or a period of uncertainty might foster creativity. While it's natural to feel frustration or disappointment in the face of adversity, gratitude invites you to look beyond the immediate discomfort and recognize the growth that can emerge from it. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is its ability to improve relationships. Negative thoughts often create barriers, making you feel isolated or misunderstood. Gratitude, on the other hand, fosters connection by highlighting the positive aspects of the people around you. Taking the time to express appreciation, whether through a kind word, a note, or a simple thank you, can strengthen bonds and create a ripple effect of positivity. When you focus on the good in others, you not only uplift them, but also reinforce your own sense of joy and fulfillment. Gratitude also extends to the present moment. Negative thoughts often pull you into the past, replaying regrets, or push you into the future, creating anxiety about what might happen. Gratitude anchors you in the here and now, helping you find beauty and meaning in the present. This might mean savoring a cup of coffee, appreciating the warmth of the sun, or marveling at the colors of a sunset. These moments of mindfulness foster a deeper connection to life and remind you that joy can be found even amidst uncertainty. One of the most profound shifts gratitude creates is in how you view yourself. Negative thoughts often come with harsh self-judgment, focusing on perceived flaws or failures. Gratitude, however, invites you to acknowledge your strengths, achievements, and growth. You might take a moment to appreciate your perseverance through a tough situation, your ability to adapt to change, or the way you've shown kindness to others. By focusing on these positive aspects, you begin to build a more compassionate and affirming relationship with yourself. Gratitude is not about denying the existence of challenges or pretending that life is without pain. It's about choosing to see the good alongside the struggle and allowing that awareness to guide your thoughts and actions. Over time, this practice rewires your brain, making it easier to notice and appreciate the positives in your life. As this shift occurs, negative thoughts lose their hold, replaced by a sense of peace, resilience, and optimism. Gratitude doesn't eliminate negativity, but it provides a powerful counterbalance. It reminds you that no matter how difficult life may feel, there is always something to be thankful for. By embracing gratitude, you create a mindset that is more focused on abundance than lack, on joy than despair, and on possibility than limitation. This shift in focus empowers you to rise above negativity, fostering a life filled with greater meaning, connection, and hope. In the battle against negative thoughts, the ultimate victory lies in your ability to reclaim control over your mind and your narrative. By embracing awareness, taking deliberate action, surrounding yourself with positivity, practicing self-compassion, and focusing on gratitude, you build a mental fortress that negativity cannot easily penetrate. Remember, negative thoughts are not facts, and they don't define who you are. They are fleeting, but the power you hold within is enduring. Each step you take to challenge negativity strengthens your resilience and brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. This journey isn't about perfection or eliminating all negative thoughts. It's about learning how to navigate them, to rise above them, and to turn challenges into opportunities for growth. You have the tools, the strength, and the courage to win this fight. Trust in yourself, take control of your inner dialogue, and never stop striving for the peace and purpose you deserve. The battle may be fierce, but the victory is always worth it. Thank you.